Being in a state of financial hardship is undoubtedly one of the most difficult situations one can face in life. While we often discuss this topic, it is crucial to recognize that the problems faced by those who are financially disadvantaged are quite distinct from the challenges experienced by the wealthy. In order to truly understand these issues, one must put themselves in the shoes of those who are less fortunate. By exploring some of the problems associated with financial hardship, we can gain a better appreciation for the value of life. For those who are currently facing financial struggles, these issues will likely resonate deeply. It is important to watch videos on money management to avoid encountering these problems in our lives. So today, I'll take you to how poverty impacts your mentality. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our video updates. Plus, it helps us spread the Thrive Wise love to help more people thrive wisely. Now, let's begin. Problem number 1. Financial status affecting self-worth. When one's bills surpass their income, falling behind on payment schedules becomes a common occurrence. Affording a day out with family and friends becomes a luxury. In such circumstances, self-esteem tends to dwindle. Society has ingrained the belief that money is a measure of success, and without it, individuals often feel devastated. Feelings of worthlessness emerge, and individuals may even refrain from leaving their homes, fearing that everyone can see their financial struggles. It is important to remember that money does not define a person's worth, but for those experiencing poverty, it becomes challenging not to let it affect them. So if you know someone facing financial problems, it is important to communicate that their value has not diminished in your eyes, regardless of their bank account balance. Problem number 2. The inability to fix immediate needs. Consider the following scenario. If a wealthy individual's tire bursts on the road, they would simply use the spare tire until reaching the nearest mechanic to purchase a replacement. However, for someone who is financially broke, a damaged tire can become a long-term issue. They might end up using spare tire for days or even months until they can finally afford a replacement. In some cases, even the smallest expenses like a tire replacement require additional jobs or extra work hours just to avoid disrupting their income. The limited funds available to impoverished individuals are often designated for essential expenses like groceries, leaving little room for unforeseen costs. Solving such problems becomes a luxury rather than a priority. Problem number 3. Uncomfortable receiving gifts. Gifts are generally seen as a positive and joyful gesture. However, for those who are financially struggling, receiving gifts can be a burden rather than a pleasure. This is primarily due to the inability to reciprocate. During the holidays, a time when people exchange gifts, the financially disadvantaged often find themselves in a challenging position. Others expect to receive gifts in return, especially if they have given a gift themselves. In such situations, the only solution for those who cannot afford to reciprocate is to ask others not to give them anything, which can be incredibly awkward. Before gifting someone, it is important to consider their financial situation to avoid causing discomfort or stress. Problem number 4. Persistent feelings of humiliation. While wealthy individuals often borrow money for investments, those who are financially disadvantaged often feel humiliated when they must ask others for help. Regardless of the support they may receive from family and friends, it is a painful experience to admit one's need for assistance. When someone you know is in need, offer help without waiting for them to ask. If they decline, do not become disappointed or bitter. Their refusal does not indicate a lack of appreciation. They simply do not want to burden others. Problem number 5. Difficulty in adopting new habits. Poor individuals are frequently advised to change their habits and adopt new ways of managing their finances to improve their overall situation. However, it is important to acknowledge the challenges associated with creating new habits while living in poverty. It is easy for outsiders to propose ideas for those struggling financially, but most of these solutions are mere theoretical and rarely practical. Individuals in poverty understand the importance of spending wisely and saving for the future. But when their earnings barely cover their expenses, it becomes nearly impossible to implement these suggestions. If you encounter someone who is struggling to make ends meet, offer guidance where you can, and refrain from passing judgment. It is often beyond their control to change their situation. Problem number 6. Constant preoccupation with money. While it is normal for all of us to think about money and how to manage it effectively, for those living in poverty, money becomes an all-consuming thought. They constantly worry about how to make more money, how to stretch their limited income, and how to meet their financial obligations. The stress of managing their finances has become more overwhelming, leaving little mental space for personal growth or creative problem solving. As a society, we must recognize the mental burden carried by those in financial hardship and offer support and resources to help them break free from this perpetual cycle. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps us spread the Thrive Wise love so we can help more people thrive wisely. And going back, problem number 7, the struggle with temperature control. While many of us take for granted the ability to turn on the heater or air conditioner when needed, for those who live in poverty, these simple acts become major decisions. They must weigh the necessity of heating or cooling against their limited financial resources. On hot days, they resort to wearing less clothing and consuming cold drinks to stay cool, while during cold weather, they rely on sweaters and blankets to keep warm. Turning on the heater or AC becomes a source of guilt, as they can only do so when absolutely necessary. Recognizing the limitations faced by those in financial hardship can help us appreciate the privileges we often take for granted. Problem number 8, feeling excluded from enjoying life's pleasures. For individuals facing financial struggles, it often feels as though fun and enjoyment are luxuries they cannot afford. Many times when invited to social gatherings or events where friends offer to cover expenses, those who are financially poor tend to decline the invitation. The belief is that their money should solely be directed towards resolving their financial issues. Instead of spending money on fun activities, they would rather have their friends use that money to help them with their financial burdens. This mindset can lead to a sense of exclusion from joys of life, and it is crucial for us to understand the emotional toll this takes on their mental well-being. Embracing opportunities to enjoy life, even in modest ways, can be essential for mental health and overall happiness. Problem number 9, making the most out of every resource. When resources are scarce, people must become resourceful. For financially poor individuals, this often means making every effort to salvage the last drops of products like milk or ketchup by adding water to the containers. While this practice may seem unusual to those who have not experienced poverty, it is a practical way for the financially disadvantaged to make the most out of what they have. This intensive mindset is born out of necessity, as we should respect the ingenuity of those who navigate these circumstances. Problem number 10, struggling to fill up the gas tank. For financially stable individuals, filling up the gas tank is a regular and necessary expense. However, for those in poverty, spending a considerable amount of money on a full tank of gas while simultaneously trying to manage their groceries and other essential expenses is simply not possible. They can only afford to fill up their tanks with enough fuel to last until their next destination. This constant juggling of expenses highlights the daily challenges faced by the financially disadvantaged. Problem number 11, the inability to take sick days. Employees in salaried jobs with stable monthly incomes can take sick days as needed, knowing they will still receive their full pay. However, for individuals with hourly jobs, taking a sick day means sacrificing a day's worth of pay. Despite their circumstances, they often choose to go to work even when they're sick, prioritizing a few extra dollars over their own well-being. The inability to afford a sick day creates additional stress and health risk for those who are financially struggling. Problem number 12, the burden of splitting bills. When individuals facing financial hardships go out for meals with friends, they are often meticulous about what they order. They opt for cheaper alternatives and only order what is necessary to reduce their overall expenses. However, it becomes disheartening for them when the bill is split equally among the group, as they end up paying additional costs from their friends' more expensive orders. This creates an added financial strain that further emphasizes their limited resources and discourages them from having meals out with other people. Problem number 13, limited access to healthcare. Visiting the doctor comes with a significant price tag, especially for those without health insurance, particularly in countries like the United States. When individuals are broke, doctor's appointments are avoided unless it becomes an absolute emergency. So by the time they seek medical help, it is often too late. They opt to stay at home and rely on inexpensive over-the-counter medicines in hopes of getting better. Additionally, they try to stretch out their medicine to make it last longer, deviating from prescribed dosages due to the uncertainty about when they will be able to afford more. This is particularly common among individuals with chronic conditions like diabetes, who may dangerously ration their insulin doses, often with fatal consequences. Well, that's basically how poverty impacts your mentality. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And hey, it seems that YouTube thinks that the next video can completely transform your financial situation. Watch it to find out whether they're correct. And please don't forget to click the subscribe button to see more videos on how to thrive wisely. Till next time.